Welcome back to Double Fries No Slaw. This is our morning show. This is not really in the morning, obviously, but I have a breakfast tomorrow. And so we're doing the morning show at night. So hopefully, for the last few morning shows that we've done, we've had pretty good viewers in here. I think that's just because you guys are pissed off because we didn't fire Mike last week. We did really well with people tuning in. Hopefully people enjoy this tonight. If not, we'll go back to morning next week and you guys will be just fine. So I'm not too worried about it. There is a call-in link available that people can use. We can put that in the chat as well, but it is in the description if anybody wants to call in. I'll go through whatever comments you guys want. Listen, I get on here and as our first comment comes in, I get on here and rant and just whine about things multiple times a week. And so I really just want you guys, this is really about you guys. I try to read as many comments as I can. Now, there are certain times we get in here and there's a million of them, and so they're hard to read. We'll take as many callers. After about an hour, I'm pretty over it. We'll take as many people as want to call in. We'll take as many comments as people have. I'll just read your comments and react to them. I'll answer whatever questions you have. Not that I necessarily have the answer. I'm not right all the time. You guys have any of those friends that are right every time and you can never tell them anything because they're just always right? And even when they're not right, they're right. So I'll try not to be that guy tonight. But I do have some things I can rant about, but I'd much rather it just be from you guys and then I can rant on another episode. So on our morning show after dark, hopefully this doesn't get too crazy, but if it does, it does. Let's see here. All right, look at that. Look, we already got a caller. See, first one up. Briad, is that right? Am I saying that right?
That's me.
Hey, how you doing?
Man, good, man. Just got off of work and still worried about the state of SFU, as always.
I was telling somebody the other day, it's a very toxic relationship. It's very unhealthy. If you think about the way you think about FSU and the way they let you down, and really college any kind of sports or athletics. If you went to a therapist and saw somebody and told them just replace FSU with some girl you were talking to, they would tell you to leave them immediately. That the therapist would be like, you need to get out. This is unsafe for you. But with football, we're okay with it, I guess, So anyway, that's
right.
But where are you calling from, man?
South Carolina.
That's right. You called in when I was up in Nashville the other day.
Correct. Yep, that's me. I was maybe thinking about going to the Wake Forest game, but I might as well just stack some money and prepare it all to spend it all Clemson weekend, eating and drinking to hopefully feel better about us maybe getting beat down. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I guess we're gonna see. But yeah, man, it's rough out there. And you see what happened with Brian Kelly. So now our options would be even more slim because they're gonna be looking for a coach. So we probably gonna be stuck, to be honest with you.
Man, it is daunting to think about. I was talking with some guys on a live show earlier today. One guy's an SEC guy, one guy's a Big Ten guy, and we all kind of agreed on this. You think about the jobs that are open, and I would say LSU is the best job that's open right now. I'm saying that Florida and Penn State are 2 and 3, probably in that order. I hate UF, but I also just try and keep it real. I'd say those are 2 and 3, right. And then I think that 4 and 5 would be Auburn and Florida State if they open up. And some people will argue Florida State over Auburn. I don't have a real strong lean either way. I think that both have their advantages. The biggest one probably being Auburn in the SEC. I think that's a pretty big, that. If Florida State wasn't in the ACC, I would have it comfortably ahead of Auburn. But because they're not in the ACC, do they have the kind of money that Auburn will spend? Do they have the buyout? I don't know. I think that you could argue that Florida State's the 4th or 5th best job that's open right now. And so what does that mean for the kind of candidates you can get? I mean, you ain't getting Lane Kiffin. But can you even get a James Franklin? I know people either love or hate that idea. That's fine. But I'm just saying, You're talking about the guys that are available. Can you get the John Summerall guy from Tulane? I don't know, man. I still think you have to move on. I don't think you can say, well, our guy sucks, but a bunch of other people are looking for coaches too, because half these coaches work out and half of them don't. So you just got to hope that the one you get works out. But I don't think we can afford to not fire him still, but it does suck that all these other ones are open too.
TJ, I have no audio on my end. Is that me? Is
It
that on
could
my
be.
end?
Can you hear me at all?
Let's see.
I can hear you. I don't know if you guys can hear him on the comments, but he's saying he can't hear me. Harlan, maybe tell him to jump out and jump back in, or if you can text him and or message him on here, he may be able to jump out and jump back in. The callers are saying they can hear you though, Briad, but if you can't hear me, or the callers, the listeners, I'm so idiot. But I don't think you can. While we try and get that figured out, yeah, he jumped out. He'll jump back in. I think we got him now. Briad, can you hear me? Harlan, you might have to like take him out of the scene and then add him back to the scene. That could be what it is. When he joins back, you may have to like add him back to the scene that way. But all that said, I don't think you can say, oh, our guy sucks, so we'll keep him because Florida's hiring and Auburn's hiring and this team's hiring and that. You got to move on. Man, I think you're just at a point where that's just where you're at. Briad, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Great.
cool. We can hear you, so go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. You were saying the last part I heard was about the top jobs, and yeah, we don't fall within that top three. Probably not even top five if we're gonna be honest. So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, man. As much as we don't want to see Mike next year, we might see Mike next year, to be honest with you. But it's gonna be interesting just because a lot of people obviously have publicly said they don't support him no more. Few of us included, because we know the history, we know the track record so far. It's been 6 years of ups and then some bad downs. So I don't know what we're gonna do, man. I don't really think it's a crazy money issue, although we're not. I mean, obviously we're not rolling like some of these other schools, but I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, we want to try to retain some of these good players that we have. And at this point, us looking back at these 4 games we lost, is it a coaching thing? Is it a talent thing? Or is it a mixture of those combined? You know,
I think that's a good question. I think it is a mixture of both. I think it is both coaching and inside of coaching. Well, you can either put it inside of coaching or inside of development, but I think it's both. Excuse me. Um,
yeah,
but like at the end of the day, that all falls on Mike. Like the talent that's in here is talent that he recruited, right? Like there's no holdovers
right,
from Willie's team or Jimbo's team. So this is, this is year 6. This is completely his
right,
roster. And so
right,
the Deloaches that were here, like they're all gone and stuff. Not that Deloach was a problem by any means, but like Akeem Dent, all the guys he took over, they're all gone. So yeah, the talent is an issue. There's no doubt. But they're still more talented than Pitt and Virginia and Stanford. And that's where it's on coaching,
right,
right? Like in that Virginia game,
right,
we held Miami under 100 yards rushing, and we said beat us with Beck. And credit to them, they did, right? They beat us with Beck, and that's fine, right? It's not fine from a big picture, but in the Virginia game, we wouldn't load the box. We refused to load the box against a quarterback that had a hurt hand, and I was sitting in the stadium and could see that. I know those guys up in the boxes and everybody watching
right,
so we wouldn't adjust to that. And then we wouldn't adjust to take Blake Nicholson off the field against Pitt. And we let their quarterback run all over us as a true freshman on the road in Doak. And then you go out to Stanford and your guys look completely disinterested, like they don't even care to be there. So yeah, I mean, it's both. It's the talent, it's the coaching. I mean, it's everything. And ultimately, look, I mean, I don't think Mike's like a bad person by any means, but ultimately, he doesn't have them ready
right,
to go, and he doesn't have them coached up very well. So, I mean, it's both for sure.
right. Yeah, I agree. Yes, with these schemes that we're running with the defense, it's like we might stop one thing but can't stop the other. We need to get better overall across the board, and whether that be a player thing, which in my thing with Tony White, I don't have a problem with him at all. I do know he needs time to get players more suited to what he wants to run. Although I don't think a 3-3-5 would ever be that good anyway. We should be having rushing four down linemen at all times, in my just personal opinion. Obviously, I don't get paid the millions of dollars to do this, but that just seems like that would work better because with just three and you don't have absolute monsters rushing, you're never going to get pressure on the quarterback unless you take one of your linebackers and have him rush, the line on almost every play, and leave, the rest in coverage. So, because we getting tore up on zone. If we're in man, they're getting beat. A guy like Malachi Tony torched us, completely torched us. And that guy from Pitt, I can't remember what the running back that we didn't even think was going to play
Yeah.
yeah, he tore us up something serious. So yeah, I think and if they're gonna run what they do run with that 3-3-5, where are our guys that are more like a safety type guy that can play in those linebacker roles? Maybe a little quick on their feet, a little more agile, if we're gonna do that. But maybe they just don't think they have the personnel, or maybe they are trying to be loyal to somebody like Blake that has stuck with the program the past several years, has not tried to leave, et cetera, et cetera. Because he is a junior, I believe, this year, so he has been here for a while.
Y- Yeah. And I mean, and that's where you look at the talent, right? Like you want to be loyal, but I mean, loyalty only goes so far as like how many times can you cost your team? Like
Right,
I
right,
think
right,
you've gotta, you know, we gotta figure out a way to get better players in here. And you look at the recruiting class now. You look at, I really like the DB. I think we'll always be fine at DB and wide receiver, but like, are there true difference makers? And they're not coming in on the lines of scrimmage and linebacker. Like you think about where we're at on the offensive line, which albeit has performed better than I maybe expected this year. And you look at where we're at on the defensive line and linebacker position. Like it just ain't good
right,
enough, man. Like you got
right,
James Williams from Nebraska. He has been very disappointing. The Desir twins have done well. Daryl Jackson's been good. I won't crap on them. But outside of that, man, you've got no depth, and you've got to put a million guys in the box to stop the run, which they did against Miami. And then, like you said, Malachi Tony ate their lunch. So I don't know, man. I'm obviously not very hopeful for the rest of this season, but man, if Mike's back next year, I'm not super hopeful for next year either. Because now maybe they do get some guys in the portal. Maybe they're able to fit some guys better to Tony White's system. Maybe it's not the absolute train wreck. And if they run it back with this same staff, though, because it feels like the players are checked out, I do think we'll find out a lot about their investment level, how much they care when this weight game happens. But
I
man, if you
agree.
lose this weight game, which they very well could go out and do, like
Right,
I don't know, man. It just feels like they've quit. And so hopefully they have it. Hopefully I'm wrong on that. Hopefully it was just the West Coast trip to
right,
Stanford, but
right,
it feels like they have.
right. I agree because Wait just beat SMU. SMU beat
Yeah.
Clemson. So it's like, ooh, well, I don't know how our chances is gonna be. I mean, where do we stack? But at this point, we gotta win a conference game. Jesus Christ, we have to win a conference game. I mean that we have to do that. I don't care who it is. You know, our take on the easy conference game we thought we were gonna win, we didn't win. We still have Wade, Clemson, Virginia Tech, and NC State. And none of those would be, I would say, easy games.
No.
We
No.
previous years we would have thought that, but not now. Which we've never really done that good with NC State recently. I would say going back to the 2022 season, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure how we're gonna look with them. I don't know, man. It's gonna be kind of rough. It's gonna be kind of rough.
It feels like a lot of the fan base has checked out. It feels like hopefully they have a decent showing. Not that beating Wake is going to re-energize this fan base, but I mean, hopefully they show something like they actually care to play football. I don't even care if it's to play for their next team that they go transfer to next year, but like hopefully they show something. But
Right.
what's your plan for Clemson, man?
Uh, Coming into town, which that's not very far from me. That's only Clemson itself is only about 2.5 hours from me, if that. But plan to come into the Greenville area on Friday night, hang out, do whatever. I see it's a night game, so I guess everybody in America gonna watch the two sorry teams, drag it out. I guess that's what it seems like. But try to get out to the stadium, at least around lunchtime, and try to have a good tailgate. I got several friends, all kind of groups of people that's doing some stuff, so gonna try to check everybody out. And I guess I'll try to look you up, see where you be at up there as well. But like I said, try to you know have some fun and take the edge off what might be a bad game for both teams, really. So we'll see, and we'll see. We'll
Yes,
see.
sir. Well, I don't know exactly what the plan is for Clemson. I'm still waiting on some schedules to come out and different things happening that week. I know our game got like you said, the night kick, which was maybe a little surprising to me, but waiting on some things to finalize, and then we'll figure out Clemson plans. But hit us up, man. We'll be doing something.
Sounds good. That'll work for me.
All right. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yes, sir. No problem. All right.
All right. Let me look at some of these comments. Some of these were pretty good. Big Hoss 2813 got us started before we can even post the call-in link, which there is a call-in link if anybody else wants to call in and chat or vent or have a therapy session, whatever you'd like to do. We'll be here for you. Literally just started off with Fire Mike, which is phenomenal. We're losing ground on finding a new coach. Yeah, man, I worry a little bit about everybody else that's out in front of it. I mean, but I'll say this too, though. At the end of the day, you're going to make your offer, and I think you're the fourth or fifth best job that's going to be open, just being honest with where we're at as a program. So you're probably going to get the fourth or fifth best coach, but did you, even if nothing else opened up, did you think this university was going to pull in Lane Kiffin anyway? Was that did anybody really have that in their mind as a possibility? Say LSU and Florida didn't open up. Both those teams won 10 games. Do you really think I don't know. That never really went through my mind too much. So I don't know that was something that I feel terrible about. But newsflash, they aren't firing Mike. Too many comments out there are showing support for him. I think those are Russian bots, to be honest with you. I don't think those are real people. The ones showing support, I don't think those are real people. When is Mike being showed the door? Yeah, I think if they lose to Wake, I think the writing is on the wall. How about glad we didn't lose last week? Obviously phenomenal. Why even play Tommy this week? Give Sperry a shot. Listen, there is some concern around Tommy's health. I mean, obviously he got just rocked in that last play that he played against Stanford. I'm sure he was in concussion protocol all week, which would make sense if he didn't practice and all that. But I mean, I think your chances of winning are better with Tommy, but yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe you do just give Sperry a shot. Who even cares about I don't know, man. I mean, people are like, "Oh, give Sperry a shot for the future." I'm hoping this isn't the future. I'm hoping Florida State goes out and makes a new coaching hire. So Sperry should be able to handle Wake. Do you think we make a bowl game? I mean, do you feel like we can go 3-2 down the stretch? I mean, that's what it comes down to. I don't see you winning at Clemson or at Florida. I'm just being honest. So you need to win the rest of your games. Can you beat NC State, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest? You absolutely can. Am I confident in that? Not really. Stanford, all those teams would beat Stanford. All those teams would beat Stanford with their best running back, their quarterback, their best cornerback, and one of their better offensive linemen out. All those teams would win. So I'm not super, super hopeful, but I guess stranger things have happened. So somebody had a comment real quick. Let me look at this, and then we got some callers down below, so I'll try and get them in. I don't even see it anymore. Somebody told me they like my shirt, which made me feel good. And because I just went and put this shirt on right before I started, and now I don't see it. Harlan, if you see the one about the shirt, put that on the screen. I got this from, I told you guys about the other day, campus course where you can customize your own shirt and put whatever you want on it with the FSU logo. So DFNS20, they're hooking you guys up. If you want 20% off, you can go check them out. That's not an official plug, but it's kind of an unofficial one because somebody did comment that. Oh, here we go. I found it. Who said that? The Donahue twins. So both of y'all go buy a shirt. Campus course. All right. What's that saying? COE. Can we get Co in here? Co, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, am I saying that right? Is it Co?
Yeah.
How
Yes,
you
sir.
doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I don't know if we done reached the point with the administration not knowing what to do to put their ducks in a row when the situation come like this. It seemed like, there's been a lame duck coach for like 2 years. After 2 and 10, I mean, how can you really bounce back after that? I mean, you get a new staff, new coordinators and everything, and you pull like the wolf in sheep's clothing after we beat Bama, and then as soon as we hit conference, it all goes downhill because the Bama game, don't nobody really got film. They got film of us doing things that maybe old school Central Florida and stuff, but they don't have film of Gus with the talent that we had at Florida State. So they really was kind of caught off guard, I feel. And then once the film started rolling in and ACC teams started seeing us, they had the answers for it. So I mean, right now I don't know what you really do with the buyout. I mean, what's the difference with how much the buyout goes down, like 4-5 million if you wait the next year to file?
I think it goes down like 8 or 9 because you're because he makes like 10 million a year and it's like you pay him 85%. So it should go down by like 8 to 8.5 million a year roughly.
Okay. Don't you think you'll probably lose that with the NIL endorsement and the people going to the games and everything? Because this fan base it's for the turn real quick. I mean, you keep shipping this product out there. How you
No,
feel about that?
I think you're absolutely right. I think if they, if they don't fire Norvell this year, right, which there are some people that, keep or stay or whatever, they will lose more than $8 million in not only booster donations, but NIL money and ticket sales. Like they will lose that. Just people not going to games, people not re-upping their booster membership. They will lose at least $8 million. Like I haven't been told that. That's not like, oh, sources are telling me, but I'm just telling. Like they will lose at least that much. Just knowing what Florida State makes from a regular game, they will absolutely lose that much money. Remember after Bama, which I do want to go back to something you said. After Bama, we sold out Kent State, and East Texas A&M, which is really
Right.
impressive. That was a good job by this fan base. Let me tell you
Because
something.
the
You
hype
ain't
the
selling
hype was
out,
there after Bama.
right? You ain't selling out
Yeah.
those games next year because you don't open with Bama. Like Bama's like week 3 or 4. Next year's schedule is going to start with either Notre Dame or an ACC opponent week 1, and then you're going to have your crappy games. And I'm just telling you, you ain't selling out those games. Now, I mean, maybe if you were to beat Notre Dame, maybe there'd be hype again. But you play Central Arkansas on September 26th, like that game ain't selling out, man. Like that just that ain't gonna happen. And they need to
Right.
put one more game on the schedule to make up for what they've
But,
got.
but
Now, I don't
But
know,
my
man.
thing is, you don't have any kind of base like the whole offensive line mercenaries. I mean, you got to go back in the portal again, and this gonna have to happen every year in the portal, in the portal, in the portal. We're not building no foundational structure. Like we hiring a bunch of mercenaries that really don't know the culture anymore, and it's not really being taught. Like even with Norvell being from Texas and being a wide receiver, I thought he could at least pull in some receivers, pull in the quarterback. I mean, what quarterback has he recruited that has panned out?
I mean, Tommy's been the best one, you know. That's
Who
and
that?
that's I mean, and that's not even close. But everybody else has been, I mean, Luke's what, third string at Mississippi State? Well, maybe he's at the backup. But like nobody's been good that he's recruited.
Right. That's the point I'm making. You know, and
And you're right about
it's
the
like
offensive line. They got to go back. I mean, I think Sandman Thompson will start next year if he sticks around, but that's it. I don't think Lucas Simmons is in like year 75 and he's not playing anymore, or he's not playing. Like Jonathan Daniels isn't there. Like the development's been bad too.
yeah, and then you got White with it. I mean, I don't have no problem with the 3-3, but the 3-3-5 kind of like it's like I feel it's kind of like for programs that can't find big bodies to have a even front, and you can't
Yep.
really find those athletic bodies to have an even front, so they go to the odd front and have more speed with the linebackers. But you got to keep the linebackers clean. I mean, Jackson has been eating up double teams to keep the linebackers clean, but we don't have linebackers that shoot gaps. We don't have linebackers that how to drop in the coverage, take a read step, drop down the railroad tracks in zone. They don't pass their man. It's just so much. They don't banjo nothing. It's like just what I don't know what it's like watching, man. I never seen it, and I know it's just a talent gap. And he trying to coach because I done seen Tony White go to man, he go to full down lineman. What I mean? He try to blitz. I done seen this man try to do everything in the game, and they still can't get home. They can't do nothing. So I don't know if Tony White the problem. I don't know what the problem is.
I mean, what was the last elite defense you remember running a 3-3-5? Like, I know Nebraska ran it a little bit last year, and they did have some success with it. But, like...
Georgia ran the 3-3-5. They run multiple. Well, Tony run a multiple. He'll go to full down lineman, too. He'll run a multiple, but you got to have the bodies. You got to have the bodies to run it.
And we don't. I mean, we don't. We just, especially at the linebacker position, like it just hasn't been good enough there. You think they let him go or no?
Tony White. No, I wouldn't let him go, man. I mean,
No, I mean Mike at the end of the year.
I hope God so. I hope to God so. I want him gone now, but I can't get my wish all the time. So.
Cole, where you calling from?
Tampa, Florida.
Oh, me too.
Home of the Bucks, Hillsborough County Buccaneers. I mean, look at my Bucks, man. 6-2, baby.
At least we're having some happiness on Sundays, man. Don't play any more Monday night games, but keep the Sunday wins rolling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I'm gonna let some other callers get in, but man, I don't know. I don't know what to do, man.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, Cole. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get Alex in real quick, Harlan, and then we'll go to Chip real quick. I see a couple people down here. Alex, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you calling from?
South Florida.
Dude, I do like to know where you said West Palm. Yeah. I like to know where people are calling from. I forgot to ask Coe until the very end. How you doing, man?
Good. Just the only hope is Tampa Bay this year. That I mean,
dude, you're in South Florida, man. The Dolphins had a big win yesterday too.
I could care less about the Dolphins, to be honest. I'm all Tampa Bay. I've been since I was born, but man, that's the only hope we get this year.
Yeah, not a lot of fun outside of the Bucks. Well, I'll tell you, the first 3 weeks were fun. Like we were fake hyped, and I know there were bad teams the other 2 weeks, but that first month, man,
when we were scoring 70, I was like, oh man, you're hyped at everything. You're like, wow.
I was telling a lot of lies because we were scoring more than like SMU or Oklahoma was against the bad teams. So I was like, oh yeah, we're good, man. Like, look at the way we're dominating these teams. And
I was like, man, we're going to the ACC. Yeah.
Dude, I was trying to make friends. I was trying to make plans with a friend to go to the ACC championship, and then we just kept losing ACC games. I was like, hey, well, I guess that trips off. Something Coe said, and I don't know if you had a question or just a comment or whatever. Something Coe said too. Not only like teams getting film on us, I really do think that Tommy's Tommy getting banged up in whichever game that was, Kent State maybe. Yeah, him getting banged up and just not being at 100% like completely changed this offense.
I think it hindered about 85% of Gus Malzahn's offense.
Right. Like he needed Tommy to be at 100%. And we all knew that would be a big question mark coming into this. And I meant to say this when Coe was on, but I just kind of forgot. But like when he's not as explosive, like the threat of what he can do is just gone. And I think that makes it really tough for Gus to do what he wants to do. And so I don't think the offense is just, and then obviously against Pitt, the wide receivers go out. There's like a million things. A couple of linemen are down, but like, I think a big portion of it. Now that doesn't excuse the defense or just the penalties and stuff that we've had, but like a big portion of the problem right now is Tommy being banged up, and maybe he's a little more healthy in his leg, but he's clearly dealing with a concussion still if he's day to day. So, I mean, that worries me too.
Yeah. I kind of had a feeling when he committed to us for the transfer last year, my thought was, okay, we're going to use him as a pure runner and supplement with passing. Past couple games, it's been just yeah, we'll pass and supplement with running because he's been hurt. And it just, I mean, he's gotten some passing yards. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's been some crazy passes that that are just unbelievable, but he's just that's not his specialty. And I think that's where the offense gets hindered because Gus Malzahn doesn't have a playbook for extensive passing game. He just has an extensive running game. And I think that's where we're hurting on offense as of recently, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think when you got Tommy, you kind of knew what his strengths were. And so having him throw the ball 35 times a game, I saw a stat that like when Tommy has thrown for over like 220 yards, maybe it was 240, like the team that he's playing for has like never won a game. I don't know the exact yardage number. It was either 220 or 240 if I had to guess the best. Yeah. He's fairly capable as a passer, but that's not why you brought him in.
Yeah. The thing is that gets to me is, what is he listed at, 5'10"?
Yeah, 5'10", 5'11".
So
maybe.
The issues you got to think about too is he cannot see over that line. When he's got to go in those situations, and I think he said it somewhere, he's like, oh, I just knew that he'd be in that area. That's not really a good thing to go off of. And in my opinion, if you're going to work him into the passing game, roll him out more so that he can see who he's throwing it to. Yeah. I feel half the time he's just heaving it back there and he's like, please someone catch it. I mean, when you're throwing to Deuce, it's kind of hard to miss him, but when you can't see him, to me, that's kind of an issue. Like with Tommy Castellanos, it's just the fact he can't see over that line because.
No, I'm in agreement. I mean, you think about that interception against Virginia. Mm-hmm. You think about the batted ball in one of those two games. I think it was the Kent State game again. He had that interception where the defensive line batted up in the air, and then he's had other batted balls too. And I mean that has been an issue for sure.
How many times have you seen a defensive end just straight intercept a ball from a quarterback, like on the line? That's what happened against Virginia with that on the when we were in the end zone. Yeah, guy just batted, intercepted it right there. How often do you really see that? That was the only concern I had when we picked up Thomas Castellanos. I mean, he's electric when he's healthy. That he is like Cam Newton reborn, just small version. But it's like he's hurt, so they're like, yeah, let's just use your arm. I mean, it's not like he's Tom Brady making these crazy. He just throws them up, and to me, that just, I feel like that's where Gus's book goes from 100 pages to 2. Yeah, because when he went to the national championship, freaking Nick Marshall. I mean, I don't know what his passing yard stats were, but I know he didn't pass much. But that dude he was a different level of speed.
Yeah, he was a terrible passer. Remember on the very first drive, I was sitting there watching it, and he overthrew. They had a wide open. We had a busting coverage, and they had a wide open guy streaking down the middle, and he missed him by like 5 yards. And I mean, obviously they scored a bunch anyway to start the game, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, Tommy's even a better passer than him as well. I don't know if he's their athleticism is pretty similar, but yeah, I mean the playbook. Once you lose that athleticism, the playbook's out. What direction do you want to go? Big picture.
Fire Mike any day. Fire him tomorrow. I mean, if we're down 20-0 at halftime against Wake, I hope I see the AD come out and take his headset, fire him on the field. I mean, I want this to be like reality TV. I mean, I just want him gone. I really thought that they were going to get rid of him after Stanford. I could not believe. It's just, I've seen a lot of bad losses. I think losing to Jacksonville State hurt less than losing to Stanford.
Dude, it was definitely mixed emotions for me for the Stanford thing, because at least I rationalized in my mind, if my mind was even working at 2:30 in the morning, like, okay, well, at least we're hitting the reset button, and we didn't. Who's your top candidate? Like, realistic? I don't think we're getting late.
Yeah, no, I never expected him. I mean, maybe I don't know if that whole thing that came out, if Mike went to Bama, that we were going to give him 10. I mean, if it was true then, whatever. But now, there's absolutely no way. I mean, I have 3 candidates that are kind of like, in my opinion, would seem realistic. I think James Franklin would be one. Just because I think he would definitely reset the culture. I mean, he had a culture at Penn State that I think was unmatched to many places. Uh, but I think I would say my most realistic pick would probably be Manny Diaz, since Florida State is his alma mater. I mean, it would be interesting to see because I mean that would be a guy we could probably afford, and I think he'd leave Duke for us any day of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't turn down. I mean, that's where he graduated. His first GA job was under Bobby there. I mean, there's no way he'd turn that down and be like, "Nah, I like Duke." I mean, that, and then obviously there's the Jimbo talk, which I don't know.
I've got very mixed feelings, but most of them are anti-Jimbo. Like, I feel like you just go, if you want to go get Jimbo, you go get James Franklin.
Yeah,
Like, just do
that's
that.
where my thought is. But I mean, like, I think that if you were to get Jimbo, you'd have to be like, all right, Jim, we'll pay you extremely cheap so that we could go get
Yeah.
a good staff. Like, I mean, he's still getting what, $8 million a year from A&M for the next 3 years. If he says, I mean, he has these emotions that he's like, oh, I love Florida State. Oh, if you love it so much, let us give you 100,000 and you coach for the next 3 years, and then we'll talk about it, But like, that's the only way I'd take Jimbo, if you take him for really, really, really cheap to get a good staff.
Yeah, I think you have to have the conversation with Jimbo, which it's hard telling these uber successful men like they're going to back down and not do the things that they want to do. But I mean, he would have to come in as like the CEO type and and really just like run the program. Let his coordinator coordinate the offense. Let his DC coordinate the defense, and really just play it that way.
I mean,
Hire an elite recruiter or two
yeah,
and roll with that.
if they were to go that route, I mean, I think he would be able to recruit at the level that we're supposed to recruit at, and not be stuck in 20th spot when it's said and done for recruiting, which is just, it's so pathetic. I tell my dad every year, I'm like, look at this. I mean, our best was what, 12 last year?
12 2 years ago after going
Yeah,
in
2 years ago. So excuse me. I kind of forgot about last year, how bad it was.
memory hold it.
And 12. I mean, that's just like, that is just so bad. It's just so bad anyway. And then how many players have actually been good from his recruiting classes? Maybe like 3 or 4 that have like panned out and been decent.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't developed very well, like for all which is kind of the crazy part, right? Like Pitt's best recruiting class over the last however many years is like 40 spots below Florida State's like average under Mike Norvell. I mean, you look at the class of 24, right? So it finished 12th in the composite. Luke Krummenhoek, gone. Charles Lester, 0 impact. Jamari Howard, 0 impact. Kai Bates, 0 impact. Manesi ITT, 0 impact. Cam Davis, very limited impact, if anything. LaWayne McCoy, doing a few things like out there. Amari Williams, Landon Thomas, both doing well. Makai Danzy's in there. Elijah Moore, very minimal impact. Jonathan Daniels, no impact. BJ Gibson, no longer on the football team. Camden Fryer, no impact. D.D. Holmes, no longer on the team. Ty Hilton, no impact. Jaden Parrish, no impact. D.D. Holmes, no impact. So, I mean, just look at this. Tamir Hickman Collins, no longer, like, Jake Weinberg was in that. I guess we do have our kicker. But yeah, like even this class that he had from 2 years ago, these guys aren't making an impact at Florida State, and then, I mean, it gets worse if you go backwards, right? Like if you look at the 23 class, I'll do that one, then I won't go any farther because I just don't want to be that depressed tonight. But if you look at the 23 recruiting class, Hakeem Williams, no longer with the program. Lucas Simmons, 0 impact. Conrad Hussey, no longer with the program. Blake Nicholson, a liability at linebacker. KJ Sampson, he is playing. I don't know if KJ Sampson should be playing on this team, but he is. KJ Kirkland, a little bit. Lamont Green, no longer with the program. Brock Glenn, no impact in year 3. Sam Singleton, right? Nothing. Goldie Lawrence, gone. Vandavarius Jacobs, gone. Edwin Joseph. Edwin is playing. Jabril Rawls, so there's 2. Andre Otto, nothing. Quindarius Jones, playing. So you're talking like there are like 5 or 6 guys on each, in each class that are making varying levels of impact. So yeah, it's just it's not
The
been good.
development has been poor, and I spend too much time on Twitter. I wish I didn't. But I remember in the 23 season, there was a lot of smack from Florida State guys like, oh, yeah, Miami's like, you guys don't develop. And I agreed with them. We don't develop worth anything. And a lot of guys are like, no, we develop so well. And I don't know where, but I haven't seen it. Like, I mean, if Jordan Travis was never on our football team, Mike would have been gone after the 22 season. I mean, and the 22 season wouldn't have played out to that. What was it? 10-3 would have never played out to that because he just can't evaluate a quarterback to save his life, and keep him. That's the thing, is to keep him. I think Luke had a lot of potential. He's gone after a year. Brock, I don't know what has happened to him. I mean, I don't know. Guy went from an Ohio State flip to, I mean, he's going to be flipping burgers soon. I mean, that's his most potential there, because the only thing he does when he steps on the field is pick. I mean,
and then you look at like the guys that we let get away, like Luke Altmaier, like killing it at Illinois, and you're just like, oh man, kill me. Luke's got 2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions this year, and he absolutely crushed it last year for a 10-win team as well. So, did I ask you where you calling from? Oh, South Florida.
Yeah, West Palm area.
Alex, I appreciate you calling in. It'll get better. Better days ahead.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
We'll eventually get there.
Oh, I wanted to ask you real quick.
Yeah.
What do you think the final record of this year will be, if you had to take a prediction?
I think they go 5-7. I think they beat Wake and they win one of the other 2 ACC games. What about you?
You're more optimistic than me. I got 3-9, a 1-game improvement. We got the 1 game. There was that plenty of improvement there.
Dude, if they lose 9 down the stretch, man.
If that happens and they keep Mike, I'm not watching a game next year.
Going to be a tough sell for me to get on here and do a podcast every week, but I'll do it and just cry the whole time.
All right, man. I'll let some other people get in.
Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, man.
All right, let me give Sleeper just a little bit of love real quick, and then let's get Chip on. So, Sleeper, use the app, 100% match up to $100. Use our code DFNS. You have a few more days. You have like 4 or 5 more days to get our free $20 entry. There was a free play tonight on the Monday Night Football game, Commanders and Chiefs. There isn't a free play right now available, but there will be here in the next couple of days for the Saturday games and the Sunday games, the stuff in the NFL and college. So go to the Sleeper app, use our code DFNS, and make some money with us. Chip, can we get Chip on real quick, Harlan? Not real quick. I don't know why I said real quick. I mean, just you add him to the thing the same way every time, but here we go. Chip, how's it going?
Hey, man, can you hear me?
Yeah. Where are you calling from?
Orlando, West Side.
Oh, okay, you're not too far from me.
No, not at all.
My mom's on the west side of Orlando, like kind of close to. Are you close to Disney at all, or not really?
No. Disney's more like southwest, like going out towards like Kissimmee.
Yeah.
No, I'm northwest.
Oh, gotcha. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Right. I got a couple questions for you, really. One is, do you think the offense sputters if Tommy doesn't get hurt in the 3rd game? Because I think it was pretty obvious to anybody who even halfway knows what they're looking at that he got hurt pretty good there, and it kind of completely changed the type of player he is, which made it pretty easy to defend our offense. Do you think if he stays healthy, do you think they keep scoring the way they were?
Yeah, probably. And even it felt like even in that Virginia game, they were able to keep scoring, fairly well. But as he played on it more and more and more, especially with being an ankle, it's not like like his left shoulder that you could just grin and bear it. He's just not as explosive. He can't.
That was the worst part about the Stanford game to me. Was watching him. Yeah, like you could tell he could barely walk. Like even on the run where he got knocked out. If you just his stride, it was just like, well, he's running on one leg there.
And I'll tell you, man, for all the doubts, I mean, I had doubts about Tommy. I mean, he is tough as hell. Like, I'll give him that. Man. That touchdown he's scored, so tough. The play he got knocked out on, like he lays his body on the line.
100%.
So shout out to him. But you're 100% right. That 150% right. That is definitely why this offense is just not as explosive.
Yeah.
And I mean, people have gotten film. They learn your tendencies. We've gone back to that reverse a million times. There's other things too, but that's the biggest one to me.
Yeah, my son kept asking me, he's like, "Why are we running the same play over and over again?" I was like, "Well, we're not running the same play over again." I was just like, "But he's only really capable of doing one thing right now." Um, each play is kind of 3 plays in one in Gus's offense.
Yeah,
And
with the
he
reads and stuff.
but 2 of those options just aren't an option right now. He can't take off, he can't roll out, he can't do anything but just kind of hand the ball away.
Yeah,
So essentially, it is the same play over and over again.
and it stinks to see because I mean,
Yeah,
I think he really does want to. I mean, he puts the effort forth.
for
He
sure.
lays his body out there, and it ain't for a lack of effort. It's just, I mean, we'll see what he looks like if he's able to go on Saturday.
For sure. And my second question to you is, and I'll preface it or whatever with this. I don't believe that we can pull in a quality head coach with the jobs that are available and the money we have available. I think we would be kind of making a lateral move no matter what, as far as like our actual ability to get somebody here. So what I want to know from you is, do you think we should roll those dice, spend those monies, or would we be better served off of um, dumping the majority of our resources into the defense? Because I personally think we're a couple linebackers away from real.
I lost Chip there. I see that maybe he got a call or something. Sometimes if you guys come on here, if somebody calls you, it'll interrupt the stream. What Chip was asking though, just to summarize, was, and Harlan, you may have to take him out of the scene so that you can add him back in, kind of like we did with the first guy. I will answer the question just because Chip will probably tune back in and watch it on YouTube or maybe jump back in here. I understand the thought of take your money and invest it back into like the players. I almost did a video on this, and maybe I still will. Maybe this is a good video idea. Harlan, text me about this so I don't forget it. But Florida, this is what Florida did last year. They said, you know what? We're not going to fire Napier. They got all the booster money ready to go for the buyout. Their buyout was significantly smaller than Florida State's. And they said, we're going to invest this into the roster. We're going to bring everybody back. Lagway, some really good defensive linemen that maybe could have gone to the NFL. They brought in some 5-star wide receivers with Vernell Brown and Dallas Wilson. They had an offensive lineman that was an All-American last year that they brought back. Another guy they thought was up for an All-American this year. They did a really good job of assembling talent on their roster. Now, that didn't work out because ultimately Billy's still a trash-ass coach and just couldn't figure things out. And they're a terrible program, or they were run like a terrible program under him. But that would be my concern. That would be like you just watched your biggest rival do exactly that. And I'm not saying it couldn't work out. I'm not saying that you couldn't reload by taking funds and investing them into the roster, but Florida had more talent coming back in like Lagway and, the offensive line, the All-American offensive lineman they had, and the defensive lineman, Sapp, and those guys that were really good. LJ McCray coming back for his second year. They've got a hell of a linebacking unit. Secondary is not elite by any means, but man, Jaden Baugh, I think, is a top 3 running back in the SEC. So they had so much talent coming back. And then they really bolstered that and finished with a really nice class in high school. And they invested all the buyout money, not all of it, but like a reasonable amount of the buyout money into the roster. And they're sitting there with the same record that we are. And they just fired their coach a year later than they really should have. So that would be my concern with that. If that's the direction that Florida State goes, I still wonder about buy-in from, the one thing that we know is that you're hiring a bunch of mercenaries again for that to be your program and that to be your team. And how well do they respond when the going gets tough? Because this year you got guys in the locker room cutting up and making fun of Norvell saying response, which is fine if TJ on Twitter does it, but not a great thing to do if your players in the locker room are doing that. So I think that is an option. It's not the worst option in the world because of how many other teams are hiring. But I just watched Florida try that experiment, and I just don't I don't know that I want us to try it too. But I mean, I get it. We're kind of scratching our head looking for answers at this point. I will just quickly give Halo some love, and then Harlan, if you can get Jacob in, that'd be great. Halo is a THC seltzer that we are partnered with, powering our morning show after dark tonight. You can use our code DFNS10 to get 10% off of either the lemonade, either the tea, or the lemonade tea THC seltzer. It is a hangover-free, discreet shipping, low-calorie option. If you are stressed out about FSU football, there has never been a better time to go to drinkhalo.com and grab you a THC seltzer. I'll see if I can get some of those up to the Clemson game or not. Well, I'm flying, so unlikely for me to get that up. I thought I was driving for a minute, but see if we can get some of those at the next tailgate that we're at. We've had them there for the Bama and Miami games. Had a good time with those guys. So go check them out. Drinkhalo.com, DFNS10 to save 10%. All right, Jacob, you in here? Jacob, you might be on mute. You may have to hit that microphone button. Let me, I think I can send him a request to unmute. Oh, there you go. Jacob, can you hear me?
I can.
How's it going?
Good. I got 2 questions. My first question is, when do you think we'll get to see Kevin Sperry in this offense? I know a lot of people want him to play. I think he can be good. I think he is good. And my second question is, which one do you think we have a more chance to beat, Clemson or Florida?
Oh, man. All right. So Sperry, I mean, you might see it. You might see it this weekend. Tommy being day to day. I don't know that Sperry gives you a better chance to win than Tommy does, but I do think, at this point, what's the difference? So maybe this weekend, until Tommy becomes the biggest problem, which I don't think he is, although his health is limiting him. Like, I think the defense and the lack of a running game and the wide receiver, I just think the whole team has a problem. So I would be pretty surprised if they just moved off of Tommy this year, but you may see Sperry this weekend. And, based on Tommy's health, I don't know that Mike would just make the switch unless Tommy goes out there and has like a 3 or 4 interception game and just like completely gives one away. I don't think he's been of the top 5 problems. His health has been a little bit of an issue, but I don't think he's all the way up there. Better chance to win Florida or Clemson. I mean, I would probably lean Florida just because they're a little more erratic, but here's a question that I haven't done a good job of following up with. What is Cade Klubnik's health? Like, is he didn't he went out or didn't play the last game? I think he's supposed to be back maybe this week, but if not next week. So you just kind of wonder if he'll be ready by the time you play them. Who does Clemson play this week? Do they play Duke this week? Yeah, they play Duke. So if he's not able to play that one, he's coming off of injury. Maybe that helps you a little bit. I think you have a better chance to beat UF because Lagway could throw you 3 or 4 picks. That's your pathway to beating them, is just him being absolutely terrible.
My thing is how many players you think on this team are actually trying, giving it their best? I mean, are these players some of these players aren't even trying, just trying to lose the game? Not saying they are, but
I think there's pretty good effort. I mean, I think Tommy's trying. I think his effort was pretty evident in the way that he tried to run the ball the best he could. I do think there are some plays that make you wonder how bought in they truly are. I didn't think effort was a terrible, terrible issue in the Stanford game. I just thought they just didn't look like they cared. It wasn't like they were quitting on plays. It was just this team's beating us. No big deal. It's just, it used to mean something to these players, to not lose when you were at Florida State. Now I just think there's such a loser blood culture at FSU that they don't really care that they lose anymore. And that's what sucks. It's not that they're not trying from down to down. It's just that they don't give a crap. So
I want to get off topic. Since it's fixing to be basketball season, do you think we can make the tournament the first year with Luke Laux? I like this team, what I've seen.
I think it's possible. Somebody else asked me the other day about how many wins, how good they would be. And I said I think they'd win about 18 games. And so I don't think that would be good enough to make the tournament. I think you need to get 20 or more. But I think they can be in the conversation like the last 2 months of the season. So like midway through January, going up to the middle of March, I think they can be talked about as a team that is competitive. They should be pretty good out of conference. Obviously, you're probably not going to beat UF. I think that's on the road this year because they're going to be really good. But the ACC is down, and so there's no reason if they can't stay healthy and have the offense rolling like we saw their first 2 exhibition games. Like there's no reason they can't be competitive. I think they'll be above 500. I think next year is the year that they may make a run to try and get into the tournament.
I
But
mean, Luke's got these boys playing defense. I like the defensive hustle, and we're kind of playing like Alabama, coming up the court and just shooting threes. I kind of like that he's doing that.
I like the way they play, man. They will be a lot more fun to watch than they've been in a long time. I don't, the ACC's down. You would have a chance, but I am excited for basketball season.
Well, that's it, TJ. Appreciate it having me on the show.
Yeah, man. Where are you calling from? Did I already ask you that? Or am I getting lost?
Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa. Well, you had a fun first week, didn't you?
I did. I told you last time I was at
Yeah.
that game too. So when they played Alabama first game in Tallahassee.
Yeah, it was it was better times back then.
I know. Hopefully, probably not going to happen. Hopefully, we can get the dub in Tuscaloosa. I don't think that's going to happen, but who knows?
Well, I didn't think it was going to happen this year either. So maybe God will look out for us again 2 years in a row. But I'll be up there one way or another. I don't care if we start 0-2. I'll be up there. We'll hang out.
All right. Well, I'll let you go.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right.
All right, let me look through some comments here. I'll just quickly, while I'm looking through comments, scrolling back up a little bit. There is a call-in link. We'll take one more caller if anybody wants to jump in. But shout out to Tallahassee Ford. Go check them out if you are in the market for a new car. Or if you're going to town for the Wake Forest game, go see them at the block party. They're either on the east side or the north side. Get down, whichever Florida State's doing this week. Go see our friends at Tallahassee Ford. They tailgate in lot 14. We won't be up there doing anything, but you can go tailgate with them. Tell them TJ sent you by. Go get a drink on me. Jimbo with an OC all day long. Listen, if they'll hire Jimbo for $3 million, that's probably better than whatever our 4th or 5th option would be. We talked about where we think we rank as a program that has an opening this year. I'm not going to sell myself on the Jimbo thought. I don't know that I'm ever going to buy it, but I mean, I guess you could do worse. I hate the thought of it with all the open jobs already. And if Auburn comes open, you might be better off to fire Norvell next year. That sucks to even say. Listen, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm actually thinking of a video right now that I have a script for that I just haven't had time to get to. But I have some thoughts on that. I'm not trying to pull like whatever series does where they try and keep you hanging on the edge of your seat for the next one. I just don't have enough time with 2 minutes to go to do the whole video right now. So I've got thoughts on that. I understand the logic. I think I just think they would lose. Ultimately, I think they would just lose too much money. And then, yeah, here's the real crux of the video. I'll give it away to you guys that are watching live and have been on here for an hour. Who's to say that the coaching carousel isn't just as crazy next year? Like, who's to say that things don't change and are just as insane? Like, what if Sark goes to the NFL? Or what if, Notre Dame becomes open? Or what if Michigan fires Sharon Moore and Nebraska doesn't figure it out and they fire their coach too? Or what if Tennessee underperforms again? Or what if Oklahoma keeps Venables this year but lets him go? Like all those jobs I just mentioned, Nebraska, Notre Dame, Texas, Michigan, like all those could come open next year. And we're back in the same situation that we were in, right? I think that when you look at the current landscape of college football, coaches are getting like 2.5, 3 years to figure it out and make it happen. People are investing too much into rosters. People are investing too much into programs that they don't care. They'll just pay these buyouts, man. You don't think Michigan cares about a buyout? You don't think Texas cares about a buyout? Like they'll just fire these guys. USC could be open. So like all those jobs I just mentioned, like next year, I'm not saying it happens, but next year could legitimately be crazier than this year. USC, Sark goes to the NFL, Michigan, Oklahoma. Like this thing could be crazy again next year. And if that's the case, are you going to wait till 27 at that point? Like I just think once you know, And I don't know that Manny Diaz would be better. I don't know that Jimbo would be better. I don't know that Alex Golish would be better. But I think once you know that you don't have the guy, you just can't wait around. So I lied. Maybe I did just give you guys the whole video, but still click on it when I put that out sometime this week. Let's see what else we got. Jimbo 2.0 with Sam Pittman as his O-line coach, a competent OC, and an aggressive defensive coordinator. Listen, I'll tell you, if Jimbo was to hire like an elite staff, I'm not talking a 2013 rebuild with like Trickett and Stoops, who hasn't called plays in 10 years. I'm talking like a real legit staff. I would sell my idea. I would sell myself on the Jimbo idea a little bit more, especially if he was for the cheap. No Diaz or Franklin. All right, so I'm not the biggest Manny Diaz fan. I think what he's done has been impressive. I will give him that. That I don't think that excites the fan base. I think James Franklin would excite the fan base some. And I understand that he can't win the big game, couldn't win the big game at Penn State, but he could at least win all the little ones. You'd stop losing to Stanford and Memphis, Jacksonville State, and Duke. That would be a big step in the right direction to me. If you had James Franklin for 4 years, 5 years, and all he ever did was win 8 or 9 games a year, well, that'd be a lot better spot than we're in right now. So I get it. I get the Franklin objection. I think he could very easily out-recruit Mike in the state of Florida and develop better than Mike and win a lot more games than Mike has. So maybe if James Franklin caught lightning in the bottle with some kind of Jordan Travis, then you could consider that too. I think Fran Brown, that's an interesting comment from Dale. I think Fran Brown would recruit extremely well here. I think he'd do a great job. I'd like to see, I really wish their quarterback wouldn't have got hurt. They upset Clemson. I was actually in the suite, or I was in Doak watching that game, and they upset Clemson and their quarterback goes down the same day. I would have really liked to see what Syracuse could have done if they could have stayed healthy. Because if he'd have put anything close to what he did last year on film for us this year, I think Fran Brown would be a very serious candidate for a lot of jobs. Because they're going to have a down year, it might be another year away for Fran Brown. So, all right, that's all I got. We're a little over an hour. I appreciate you guys a ton for always making this fun. And I'm sorry, I just got distracted. But we will do this live again soon. We will go live on Wednesday night to talk about the Wake game. I know that's something you're really excited about. Maybe we'll make that a comment-only show. We won't even preview Wake. We'll just talk about you guys' comments. But I do appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will talk to you soon. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you later. Go Noles.